Step inequalities. We're going to jump in straight with an example. Yep.
And it's called
Solving multi-step inequalities. Multi-ball. Okay, we're going to solve this and graph the solution on a number line. Solve 23 greater than or equal to 10 minus 2w and graph the solution. Okay, so what would we do? You do what?
Subtract the 10.
Yeah, subtract 10 from both sides. Get it off of the W. Sounds good. Let's do it.
I was thinking divide the 2 first. Does PEMDAS not matter on
It-
this one as much?
So remember, if you do divide the negative 2, you have to divide everything by negative 2.
Yeah.
So then we end up with 23 over negative 2. So it's easier to get rid of addition subtraction first. Okay. So 23 minus 10 is what? 13. Now what? Divide the negative 2. Oops. And we get what? So close. Negative 6.5. Okay. Now what do we need to do? So we don't want to grab it yet. Because on an inequality especially, we really want that variable to be on the left side. Because then our inequality points the direction that we shade. Makes our life a lot easier. So we've got to flip it. And if we're going to flip it, we've got to flip everything around. So this is going to turn into W is less than or equal to negative 6.5. Right? Then we are going to graph it. How do we graph it? We use a number line. That's true. How do we graph it? Okay. 0, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. Then what? Nope. There's something you're missing. Yeah. Is it filled in or open?
Filled in.
It's a filled in circle. How do we know? What are we looking for?
Because it's less than or equal to.
Yeah, because it's equal to. So it's a filled in circle. Then what?
An arrow to the left.
Yeah, then we're shading to the left. I made a big deal out of this before the break, and I'll make a big deal out of it now. I do not want your number lines, first of all, to look like this and ugly and not straight, so this is bad. Next thing that's bad is if you just draw a line up here like that, that's stupid, don't do that. Put a circle, put a not a circle. Don't do it, but don't even do this. This is also stupid. Do it like that. If you want it to look good, use a second color and then it'll look really Really, really pretty, but you don't have to do that one. What Gavin's got there is beautiful. Do it like Gavin. Okay. Makes sense, everyone? Great, let's do another example. We're going to do the same instructions.
Are you doing quiz over this?
We certainly might. Or we might not. I think what I said before Christmas break that y'all got confused about was I said we're going to do 2 lessons and then we're going to take a midterm and then we will take a test after the break on the lesson, which means that you're going to have to remember the first 2 lessons. And so what I was telling you is that your test won't, over those 2 lessons won't happen until January. And y'all thought that meant today. I can understand the confusion. I think that's probably what actually happened. Y'all thought I meant immediately after the break, but I did not. And then I accidentally pulled up September, and so I was confused because I thought, yes, we do have a test. But then I was over there and the computer was not behaving. And then I was looking at my phone, I was like, well, what do we actually have next and whatever else? And I was like, oh, that's September. We didn't have a test today.
Is that 8t plus t?
Yes.
It just look like those.
What should we do?
Distribute.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Let's do it. Okay, so what are we distributing?
4 onto 3.
Yeah, the 4, because that's the one that's multiplied, just to those 2. We're not distributing the 7. We're not distributing over there, just the 4. So what's 4 times 3t?
12t.
12t. What's 4 times negative 5? And then we've got to bring everything else down. Don't forget to bring stuff down. So this didn't get touched, right? So bring it down. Greater than or equal to. 8t didn't get touched. If it didn't get touched, it's got to come back down. Now what?
Combine the t's.
How?
By minusing.
Okay. Subtract what?
The 8.
That's fine.
We're gonna do.
What is 12t minus 8t? Focus, bro. Now what?
Subtract over 20.
What do you mean?
Add to 7.
Combine these like terms, is that what you're saying? So negative 20 plus 7 is what? Negative 13. Signs are different. Subtract to keep the sign the bigger one. Minus 13. Greater than or equal to 3. Now what?
Now we add 13.
Divide off the 4.
Mm-hmm. What's 16 divided by 4? 4. Then we grab our number line. 1, 2, 3, 4. What kind of circle is it going to be?
Filled in.
It's going to be a filled in circle.
To the right.
No, I don't.
Shaded to the greater than. What'd you say?
Nothing. I was making a joke.
Oh. Haha.
Everybody's
Okay. Let's do a couple more examples. And then we'll do another lesson. Is that 2 lessons that are going to be due on Thursday? Oh no. If we get done early, I'll let you start on your homework early.
Yay!
Aren't you excited, Joe? Okay. I want y'all to try these on your own and see what happens. So, GPs. Excuse me. Ready to go. It's not a race. Calm down, Gemma.
Then
What?
Wait, can I see the first one real quick? The second better kind of move it real quick.
So did you get those answers?
No.
Did you figure out your mistakes if you didn't get those answers? Good. So what happened?
The variables canceled each other out.
The variables poofed away. So what are the answers?
I mean, they're both technically
Yeah,
true.
fine.
Well, not that one. But
Okay, so that is important to ask, right? So if it was an equation, we've learned what to do with that, right? So is this true? Is 6 greater than or equal to 6? Yeah. So what's the answer?
All true factors.
All
True numbers.
real numbers. How would we graph all real numbers?
Oh, you just like, you don't shade, wait, no.
You
You
would.
just don't make another line, right? I forgot.
You would shade it out.
It's everything. You're thinking about that one.
Oh.
Everything. All the real numbers. It's always true. You can put any real number in there and it'll work. 5, great. 6, 37/24, it'll work. What about this one?
But it's not all.
It's not all real numbers. When is that true? Never. The answer is the null set. A set with nothing in it. How do you graph the null set?
you don't shade it in anything.
You grab it like this. Nothing. If you want to add a little frowny face to the side, then that's fine. You can't put any number in there and it'll work. 0, negative 346, 2 pi, it won't work. You what? You cheated? You did strange magic instead of math? It's the wrong class for strange magic. You need to do math. Okay. Let's do lesson 5.3. Yes, let's. 5.4, Gonna make things a little more complicated.
Yay.
5.4. Solving compound. Inequalities. Let's start with an example. Y minus 3 is greater than or equal to negative 11 and y minus 3 is less than or equal to negative 8. How do you think we're going to solve these? This.
For the first one, you would plus the 2.
We would add 3. We do the same thing on this one, right? So we get y is greater than or equal to negative 9 and y is...
Isn't it negative 8?
Yes, that's totally what I said. Y is less than or equal to negative 5. That's not so bad. How do we graph that?
Like graphical.
Yeah, kind of. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8. So, what are we going to put on our graph? It's going to be filled in or not filled in? I'm going to put 2 filled in circles. One here and one here.
Shading in opposite directions.
Shade greater than negative 8 and less than negative 5. That region fits that bill, doesn't it? Let's do another example, which is kind of the same sort of thing, but written different. This one's also an and, but written different. Okay. 6 is less than or equal to r plus 7 is less than 10. Oh, looky there. It's all compounded. What do you think we're going to do with that? So normally we would add 7 to both sides, right? To get it off of the r. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to add 7 to all 3 sides.
Minus 7.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And subtract 7, subtract 7, subtract 7. What's 6 minus 7?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. And then 10 minus 7 is 3. Now, these ones are a little bit trickier to graph, kind of, because normally we just look at the arrow and see which way it points and go from there, right? But this time, 1, 2, 3. One of them is backwards. One of them, the variable's on the wrong side, right? So r is actually greater than or equal to negative 1 and less than 3, right? So we're still going to put circles. One of them's going to be open and one of them's going to be closed, right? This one's going to be a filled in circle. And this one's going to be an open circle. Greater than negative 1 and less than 3. Easy peasy, right?
Yeah, it was easy.
No big dealio. All right, let's do one more example. Maybe two more examples. A plus 1 is less than 4, or A minus 1 is greater than or equal to 3. So what would we do? Yeah, same thing, easy peasy. Subtract 1 and add 1 on this one. So A would be less than 3, or A would be greater than or equal to 4. So when we go to graph it, on a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one would have an open circle and this one would have a closed circle, right? So it's less than 3 or A is greater than 4. Now, it's worth noting, see, this will be shaded on the outside. If, however, this said and instead of or, we wouldn't shade anywhere. It would be empty because there's no place where where a number is less than 3 and greater than 4. We wouldn't even put the circles. Right? All right, so one more example. X is less than or equal to 9, or 2 plus 4x is less than 10. So what do we need to do?
First one was already done.
Yep.
Would
Not the 4.
two.
The 2 is the one that's got to be subtracted. Now what?
Now we divide the 4.
Divide the 4. So x is less than 2. So before we graph this, I'm going to go ahead and put my line up there. Look at what we got as our answers. What do you notice?
They're both less than.
And they're both less than. So if a number is less than or equal to 9, it's also less than 2. So we really only need one circle, one filled in circle. And then we need to just shade this way. Because that fits both of them into one thing. Okay. Let's give you some homework. I'm gonna write them down. I will probably put this into grade book, but if I don't, then here's your homework for Thursday. In classroom, I mean, not grade book. Homework 1 is on page 301. And we're going to do numbers 12 through 20 evens. And homework 2.
It's 5.2, right? The first one you said.
5, 3.
5.3.
And then 5, 4. Mm-hmm. Is going to be on pages 308 and 309. And we're going to do numbers 6 through 26 evens. And y'all can start on your homework right now. Or you could waste time. I don't recommend that one. Because your time is precious. Corbin, what kind of hobbies do you have? What do you do when you're not doing school? Stuff. Well, see, if you get done some of your homework, you'll have more time for stuff.
I need more time. Stuff.
You do. You need more time for good stuff. Homework isn't the fun part of your life. It's a necessary part for now, but it's not the fun part.